What up, people? Welcome to the Joe McFo Show. We are going to get started on our live for today, and we're making comics, of course. We are working on Shadowboxers, and so I got my two streams running at the same time, so hopefully things go well. Today we're going to be continuing on with this specific page. I've been working on this on my own for quite a bit of time, and I unfortunately had to change this panel right here. Originally, it looked like this. You guys can see here, and I had the characters running. I had Cairo, NZ, Javen, and Zalam running towards the water tower, and then I realized that the two guards that were also running did not fit, and so had to do this. I had to zoom out, and yeah. And for those who are noticing, my camera's a little bit different. It's because Hina, my cat, has taken over my chair, and I remembered I have a standing desk. So while she's sitting in there for who knows how long, I will be standing for the time being. Plus, it'll help her to not jump up on my desk, which is rather helpful. So anyway, everyone, feel free to say what's up in the chat. Like I said, I have two streams going at the same time, so you might hear multiple conversations happening at once. But we're gonna get going. We're gonna get started. So this is where I left off yesterday. Let me turn this over a little bit. Let's see, probably healthier to stand for a bit anyway. Yeah, I understand that. Cats are in charge. Yes, they are in charge. When I got to my chair to stream, Hina, my cat, was she just looks so cute. Her paw was covering her face, and I was like, man, I can't be that dude and just be so mean to move her. So yeah, I had to make that sacrifice, but it's all right. It's fine because well, it just is. It's fine. I have a standing desk. That's exactly what it's for. All right, so this one, I'm going to actually move the move the leg here. I felt like it was. Oh, I don't want him to get kicked in the face. Let's not have him get kicked. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna try and have our characters running properly, and in order to do that, gotta get the right pose to start off with. So hopefully everyone's having a good weekend so far. Went and got some boba earlier today, so I'm feeling good about that. I didn't know how much I would like boba because I had some friends in school who would always talk about going, but I had a bad experience early on. When I was in high school, people would like use the tapioca to do like a spitball, and they would like land on people. And I remember seeing like a little tapioca ball on my pants one time on my leg. I was like, what is this? And it just grossed me out. And so yeah, I never tried boba, but now I'm a huge fan of it. And now it's like a once a week kind of thing. maybe once every 2 weeks. Maybe once every 2 weeks. The different poses are fun. You can see them more clearly in this new composition. Yes, that's so true. I didn't even think about that. Every single one has a slightly different run. And for all you who like to make fun of Enzi, we got him in a Naruto run because why not? So yeah, we got Enzi over here. We have Cairo here, Javen, and Zalam. And for those who are new to the lives or the streams, these are the 4 characters for the comic that I'm working on right now. This is Javen. He's the main character. He's the one that's over here. And then we have Zalam, who's the leader of the group, his older cousin, who's here. And then we have Enzi, the Naruto running dude, is this one right here in the yellow. And then Cairo, the kind of larger one, is here in the pink. So those are the characters that I'm working on right now. And I think just for the fun of it, let's just get Enzi out of the way. Let's get the Naruto run going, because I think people seem to be excited about that one at the very least. So plus he's closest, so might as well just set the standard for what he's going to look like, and then I will work on the other characters. And when I say setting the standard for what he's going to look like, I just simply mean the like how detailed he's going to be, because it's so zoomed in that I need to think about these things beforehand. I think it'll look especially dramatic with his cloak. Yes, Cathedral, you're absolutely right. I think you're 100% on the mark with that. All right, let's see. So, all right, gotta figure out exactly what I can do here. Here we are. Let's see. So I'm just checking out the comments. I got 2 places I'm streaming right now, so I gotta double take. And like, who's talking? And unfortunately for TikTok, I can't always tell. But I appreciate all the lives, or all the likes that I'm seeing in the live stream. Appreciate you guys. All right. And feel free to ask whatever questions. Those of you guys who have been on the lives long enough, you guys know how much I appreciate questions. It helps kind of break up the monotony of what I'm doing, so that helps. Alex, what's going on? Thank you for coming on. All right, so let's get his fro. And then because he has a cloak, he's gonna have some sort of wind drag, I think. But he also has a backpack, so let me think about this a little bit. Yeah, he's gonna straight up have a cape. I'm just making him look like Batman. Alright, so we got the shoulder. I just realized I probably should thin him out a little bit. I think this model is close, but I think the real character is actually thinner than what I'm doing. Yes, I didn't adjust him, I forgot to. So let's make him a little thinner. Here we go. That'll help me out quite a bit. I saw Webcomic and I hopped on. We all gotta catch up. So yeah, I'm looking forward to catching up with you, man. It's gonna be great. Hi, Yasha. My cat. He's very curious about what's going on, evidently. I'm back in town now, so soon. Oh yes, we gotta put some puzzles together, man. What's up, everyone on the live? Hello. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you all. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Oh man, both the cats stole our seats. Not only my seat, but my wife's seat has been taken up by our cats while I'm stuck standing. Venti says, good job, I like this. Thank you, Venti. I appreciate that. Here, I'll show you the full panel because it's been a while since I zoomed out. We got 4 characters who are going to be running towards this specific location over here. So right now I'm just kind of getting the details here. And this guy, I forgot when I was putting the models here how the cloak would probably be flowing. So he basically is gonna look like a superhero. Like a little nerdy superhero, which I think is awesome. Prototype says Clip Studio is so epic. I agree, it is the most epic. I've been using this and an app called Feather lately. I actually did a live on TikTok last night, and I explained this app that I've been using. It is very powerful. So if I get to a point where I need to show you guys, then I totally will, because it's a game changer for me, especially for someone who doesn't really use Blender, mostly because it's intimidating and I don't understand it. It's a great app for comic artists or people who are just trying to get a simple layout of their comic. Let's see. So try and get these straight lines. I might not need these as much as I thought. Since I changed up the 3 model a little bit, there's going to be some changes over here. So we got the back of his legs. I'm trying to do some more straight line construction for this. Ordinarily, I would make the characters a little bit more complex in terms of like the way I do the anatomy and stuff, but because they're so far away, I think I can get away with doing some straight lines here, if the brush will let me. Come on, there we go. For those who don't know, I'm also working on a project called Shadowboxers: The Path of Light. This is my indie comic project. I wanted to make it a TV show, but I don't have a couple $1 million to fund it. So until that happens, we're doing comics. We're doing comics. All right, here we go. And this character is wearing boots, so let me actually address that. I posted the cats in Discord. Oh boy. We have a pet channel, right? We do. Yeah, we have a pet channel in Discord. Yeah, if you guys go in our Discord, you can see the cats in all their glory. If you're curious about the Discord, I'll show you all in just a second. So the project I'm working on, if you go to our website, shadow-boxers.com, at the very bottom of the front page, you'll see join our Discord community, and we have a bunch of channels that we have, and one of them is sharing pets. So if you want to see the 2 lovely cats that my wife and I parent, then you can do that. So it's shadow-boxers.com. If you didn't get it, just say it in the chat, and I'll show the screen again. So I know I showed it rather quickly. Thank you for all the hearts on the screen. I appreciate you. You're making my day. I was already having a pretty good day, so it's making it even better. Let's see. Alright, so at the bottom of his cloak, he's got a pattern. It's basically repeated triangles. So let's see how well we can do that. I never counted how many triangles he had on his design, so I'm just gonna make it up. And if someone is nerdy enough to count them all, then good for you, because I'm not doing it. Especially not for like a minor character like this. Maybe one day I will need to, because of animation or something like that. I might need to know the specifics of how many triangles he has, but for now it's not necessary. And then he's gonna have a little stripe right here. I actually made his shirt kind of baggy in his initial design, so I'm going to kind of make it untucked a little bit, kind of make it flow. And he also is wearing a backpack. So I actually designed their backpacks earlier, not in the stream, but earlier just in life. And I think I did these on a stream maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Or no, it couldn't have been that long, maybe 1 year ago. But I did some backpacks for the characters. So the one Inzy's wearing is gonna look like this. So basically I just have to draw this on his back. The other characters will have these other various backpacks. I just hope I remember which one is which. He looks so cool, thank you. Okay, so he's got the strap going from his top right shoulder, and wait, it's going like this. So it's gonna go like this. That's the way his backpack goes. So we actually need to bring the cloak down a little bit over here because the backpack is actually going to press down and keep it down up to this point. So there we go. Okay, so he's got this here. I'm trying to stay true to what I designed as much as I can. Just wanted to drop in and say hello. I'll bug y'all for updates later. All right, Alex, thanks, man. Appreciate you for coming on. Say hello to the wife for me, man. All right, so let's see. He's gonna have his knuckles, his thumb right here, because I guess that's how our boy runs. I hope I don't forget this later on, that this is how he just needs to run. All right, and then he's got a little bit of blonde hair at the top, so I'll just kind of note that to myself. That's gonna look something like that. And then I also believe I have his headband or his goggles kind of wrapping around his whole head. So that's kind of what we got there. Let me just double check and make sure the design is correct on everything. Making it consistent. Okay, yeah, so I'm right. It does look like this. All right, one down, a bunch to go. And then I'll also have sleeves that, let's see, these are his elbows. Kind of go like that. Let me also fill that in. And oh, I forgot, he's wearing a glove on this hand. So let me make sure I get that. All right, so we got we got Enzi down. I think he's just about ready to be inked. There's a couple details I can include in the shoes if I really wanted to. Like I could include like stuff like this. But he's just about ready to go. He's good. All right, made quick work of this character here. Now I'm gonna work on Cairo. Cairo, for those who need a refresher, is this character here in the pink. He's a little heavier than his friends, but he's still part of the crew. He's kind of the loudmouth. He's kind of based on some people I grew up with who were just always loud, always trying to crack jokes, and in a sense kind of just mean. He's kind of mean, honestly. So yeah, we're working here. By the way, guys, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends if you haven't. Feel free to ask questions. I like how the other character looks. Thank you. Here, I don't know if you've seen the other characters, but I'll show you a quick little sample. This is the general lineup for my project, Shadowboxers. So the 4 characters that you see, only one of them is actually in this lineup because he was created. They were created afterwards. But I'll show you here. This one on the far left, his name is Mashaka, and then we have Aletha over here, who's an assassin. We have Ishnu. He's our coach/trainer character. Think of like Mr. Miyagi. And then we have Javen, who's our main character. Atana and Kayla, who are sisters. And then Ghazali and Asim. So the only 2 characters we're going to see in this comic, or this one-shot specifically, are Asim and Javen. The other characters are the 4 that we're seeing right here. So yeah, these are the 4 most important right now. So with that, I'm going to continue on with our guy over here. He's got his hat. All right, and then let's get his shirt. Now he also has a pretty intense backpack. I'll have to think about as I draw. And let me also change up the 3D model. I don't like how his arm is kind of creating a tangent, so let me just move this forward. There we go. That's better. Oh, good to know. Yeah, of course. Of course. Happy to share progress. If you have any questions about this, just feel free to ask. I'm a teacher by trade, artist, and I teach at the university level, so I always try and give like the most thorough advice and answers to questions that I possibly can. Within reason, obviously I can't answer every question. I can't predict the future about what AI is going to do, although I have some opinions on it, but yeah. All right. All right, let's get Cairo's hair in here. And the nice thing about this in particular is I don't have to worry about drawing their faces right now. That's something I often do. Most of the time I am actually drawing on a stream, it's because I'm drawing their faces. But this time, not so much. Not so much. To wrap around here. So he's wearing a sweatshirt kind of tied around his waist. So I gotta have that kind of flying in the wind a little bit too. And then he's got his pants leg rolled up. What's up, everyone hopping on the live? What's going on? Working on indie comics here. Okay, and then we'll probably have a half lock fold here. It's really important to know clothing fold types while doing comics, or any type of illustration, honestly. It's super important to know, because most people don't know that depending on what a person's wearing or the type of fabric or how tight the clothing is, that you're going to get different folds in different places, and not every fold is automatically the same. What's up, Elijah? How's it going? Question. Okay, yeah, ask your question. Can I draw your cat? No, I cannot. I have my own to draw. At least not right now. I'm not gonna do it on the stream, but if you want to commission me or something, you can DM me. You can DM me if you want me to draw the cat, but I won't do it right now. let's see. So we got drawing tips, yay. I don't have money, so I'm just asking art streamers. Well, see ya. Okay, bye. Bruh, artists gotta eat. Yeah, that's true. We gotta eat. We as artists gotta eat. I wasn't gonna bring up money right now. That's actually kind of wild to me that artists are like the only people who ever get asked to do work for free. You know, like you don't go to a plumber and ask if he can unclog your sink for free. You don't ask a doctor to heal you for free. You don't ask an electrician to rewire your house for free. But suddenly artists who train and work their whole lives also get to also have a tough time getting work, and they're asked to do work for free. It's a strange thing. It's very strange. I'm not sure what that's about. And you know, I understand people do favors for people all the time, but yeah, it is an odd thing to see. I don't understand it. I don't know. If any non-artist here can help me understand what that's about, I would appreciate that. So I think it's important to have people paid what they're worth. You know, there's a Bible verse that says the workman is worthy of his hire. You know, and so I think whenever someone does some work, they should be getting paid, whether it's babysitting, whether it's walking a dog, anything. Kathy says amen to that. Yeah, you know, it's I don't know. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. But whatever. It's all good. I thought you forgot about the foot for a second. Oh, no, I gotta draw the whole thing. I usually just leave the feet for last, though. They tend to be the last thing I'm concerned about, because it's not like a final detail or anything like that, but it's the last thing of consequence in most cases. Sometimes you'll see a situation where where you know the feet are pretty much the entire pose. Like there are shots in this comic where it's just a picture of the foot. But in this case, because they're running, I think what's more important is to make sure I get the scale right, make sure it feels like they're running, and then the feet can be added on as extra. This foot, though, I'm probably going to leave generally blank because there's, you know, a lot of details being hidden here. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stretch out this cape just a little bit so that I can kind of cover up the leg. No one's going to know the difference. That's real, but I hate doing the foot. You know, it can be challenging for people. I know why people hate it. I know Jim Lee hates drawing feet. Actually, what's funny, I'm gonna look him up real quick, and you will see just how often he avoids drawing feet. Jim Lee foot. Actually, no. Let me just say art. So Jim Lee, he is famous for working on a lot of stuff for DC Comics. But look at this. Look at this page. He did not include the feet on either of these characters. This one gets cut off just before the ankle. This one you get to see a little bit of the ankle. And even in the foreshortening, his foot's gone. His foot is gone. And the pose is cool, you know, but you notice, like, let me move this over. The feet are gone as well here. This one, Superman has a foot missing. This one, we actually see both of them, but it's still a very rare thing. And I find it absolutely hilarious that he does that. And that he's been able to get away with it. Now, granted, it's not that he can't draw feet, it's just that he chooses not to, which I find hilarious. So, yeah, you know, sometimes people have their own little cheats, and, you know, it is what it is. All right, time to draw. Let's do Zalam next. So Zalam is this guy up here in the corner, Javen's older cousin. So let's see what we can do with this. You said I can agree with him. All right, let me, which layer am I doing this on? Switch the color out. All right, so we're going to start with the head. The art of DHT, what's going on? All right, so this character has a pretty high collar on him. So I'm gonna do that. More Pete character design. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. What's up, Dylan? Thank you for coming on. This one's gonna be fun because now this character, he's running, so I get to draw these 6 strands kind of going back in the wind a little bit, like that. Not quite sure how long to make them, so I'll just make it up as I go. Did 2 pieces of art. Oh, cool. That's what I'm talking about, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's see. So he's gonna have this strand of hair going like that, and his ear. Probably won't have room to put his earrings. I don't think that's a necessary detail to include in this shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he's got 6 of these strands, so just gotta make sure I include the right number. What was that 3D modeling program from yesterday you used? It was called Feather. I want to learn how to draw faster. The way you draw faster is actually kind of funny. You actually don't learn by trying to draw faster. The way you draw faster is by making fewer mistakes. So, for example, let's say you and I are both doing a portrait, and I am able to make fewer mistakes than you. That would mean that I can move along faster. That means that I don't have to worry about making the eye too small or the nose too big or whatever the case is. So really the only way to draw faster is simply to get better. I know that's not the answer that you probably wanted to hear, but that's really the trick. And it really only comes by repetition and doing it a bunch. The best artists I've ever seen have all been doing it for so long that it's second nature to them. It ended in XP. It renders motion. No, I only use Clip Studio Paint, and I had the EX version, and then the 3D app that I was using was Feather. Yeah, I only use those 2. It's not really a 3D modeling program. It's more like a drawing in 3D program, though. You might be thinking of another artist, though. Okay, so he's also got a jacket here that's gonna fly back in the wind. Just about everybody has something flying back in the wind. Oh shoot, I forgot that Cairo has a backpack I need to include on him. I'll have to do that later. Matter of fact, let me make a little note. Backpack. Because I will forget if I'm not careful. So I was wondering if your pen came with the computer, you're talking about this pen right here? This is a Cintiq that I'm using, and the pen does come with the Cintiq, but it's just a big monitor. Here, this thing, I'll show you kind of how far it goes, all the way over here to here. I want to say it's 24 inches? I don't think it's 32. I feel like 32 is bigger than what I have, but it's perfect for me. works perfect for me. All right, so then the sleeve. "24 inches, yeah, it's a big boy. I gotta say, it's not a small machine. But it's because I work professionally, so I need to have the best tools. And I actually got this from my former job, so they sent this to me. Yes, Dylan, you got Clip Studio Paint, EX, and Feather. Those are the two that I use. Feather is sometimes called Feather 3D. That's the easy way to find it. By the way, just gonna make it clear for the algorithm that I'm not sponsored by either of them, although I would like to be. So don't mess up my stream, guys at TikTok. All right, so Zalam's kind of got this really intense run right here, and then got this over here. Red App crew, are y'all good? Are y'all good over there? It's super quiet. my second stream. I gotta check in with the audience sometimes. What song is that? It sounds 80s. It's actually a song that my friend made. So when I stream on this and on the Red App platform, I can't use copyright music. And so my friend, he goes by Vagabond Lover. He made a bunch of music himself, and he's heavily inspired by 80s music, and he let me use it for the streams. So I don't know the name of this specific song, but I'll tell you his name. I think you can find him on IG, and the name of the artist is this. So I think the account is like Vagabond Lover Music or something like that. But yeah, that's how you can find it. Yeah, whenever I stream on Sundays and Thursdays, because I'm doing two platforms, I gotta do non-copyright stuff, because now I want to get in trouble. But every other time I'm on TikTok, oh yeah, copyright music all day. He's got two like triangles here, and then he's got like a diamond on his back. Can probably move this over just a little bit. Welcome everyone on the live. Appreciate you guys coming on, hanging out with me. It's a chill Sunday night stream. Progress, doing well here. Simplify this over here. I'm trying to be very cognizant of the shapes that I use. in these characters, because the rounder I make them, the more simplified they're gonna look, and they're not gonna feel like edgy at all. It's very hard to get very round, edgy characters. I'm sure it's been done before, but I can't think of anything that comes to mind. And there's a little bit of softness, but I just have to be careful because I'm actively working on adjusting the style for that. If you actually were to see some of the older versions of the panels, you would see that a lot of it is very, very round, and it actually kind of scared me when I saw how different the earlier iterations looked. So yeah, gotta be aware of that. All right, let's get this hand over here. So this character has a ring that goes across 3 of his fingers, so I need to remember to put like a little band over here. Just for simplification. Really, it should be like split up, but just gonna keep it simple. Let's get his shoes. That's not the right. Probably make them a little smaller. There we go. Shoe is looking all right. Do I have a user? Yes, I do. It's called the Joe McFo Show. So I will write it over here. So the JOMCFO Show. So just like that, you can screenshot it, and I'll even put the little. Is that their logo? It looks something like that. Oh, no, it's this. Yeah. So, if you're curious, you can subscribe there. I don't think I can say their name on the stream. That's what I've been told. I've been told by more than one person that I can't say the name of the platform on here. But yes, the Joe McFo Show. It's spelled the same way as my username, except there are no periods. So yes, do with that what you will. But thank you for asking. All right. how this feels zooming out. Not too bad. Not too bad. I like the shoes. Thank you. Yeah, there's a couple of things I need to fix with this angle. I think I made them a little too thin. But yeah, I tried to make them like very much like shoes that like an urban teen would wear. Like there's a mindset I was going for with this when I made these designs. I'll probably have to fix that shoe a little bit later. I think it's probably a little wonky. But the design is cool, I think. The design is cool. Alright. And now we go to the final character, and that is our boy Javen, the main character. The one who started it all. So let me go in here. Kathili says, looking good. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Alright, so this character's wearing a hood, so I probably can get away with hiding a majority of this. Oh man, I forgot the backpack on this character too. Well, that's why I wrote it down. That's why I wrote it down. So I'll have to go back in and fix it later. Their backpacks aren't a part of their regular design, so it's just in a couple of panels that they're gonna have them. That's why I'm constantly forgetting them. You really made this slightly hard on yourself by giving them all backpacks. Well, they needed them. They needed them for the story. Can just run up with spray cans on top of this water tower, just carrying it in their hands. But yes, I did make it hard on myself. But honestly, there was no part of the equation of making a webcomic or a comic in general that was going to be easy. So I'm curious, is anyone here working on their own comic or their own project that that they find rather challenging, like a comic, like an animation, their own IP, anything like that? I'm just curious because I know that that's something that's becoming more and more popular now, which I think is awesome. I love the fact that people are creating their own stuff. RDHC says, me, I'm making a game. Oh, that's cool. The Star Cadets. Oh, that's a cool name. The Star Cadets. That's dope. That's so cool. I'm curious if there's anything you could share about it. Like, you don't have to put the whole like synopsis. I know that TikTok only gives you so many characters to use, but I'm curious, like just loosely, is it you know, by cadet? I assume that or space cadet. I just assume it has something to do with space. And I'm curious about your game, Venti. Don't worry, I don't know how to make a game, so I'm not gonna like take your idea or anything. Besides, I got this one that I'm trying to build over here, Shadow Boxers. Yes, only share what you're comfortable with. Boom Marvelous Studios, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that so much. My game is about Minecraft horror, and I'm more on the music right now. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I just went into like a tabletop game store earlier today, and I didn't know like all the stuff that was associated with it. Like there's so many different brands that are all into like all have the same format of playing. I just had no idea. I didn't grow up playing a lot of tabletop games outside of like Monopoly or Scrabble and things like that. So it's really cool to see something different. All right, I might have to kick my cat out of this chair in a little bit because I'm starting to get tired of standing. For you guys who are creating your own stuff, like what do you find to be the most challenging part of it? Like what part is testing you the most? Is it story? Is it just learning a new software? Is it peer pressure or just the pressure of what you're going to create, like fear of failure? Curious to know what the challenges are. For me, with this project, it was the biggest thing was the fear of failure. I've had a lot of scenarios that have come up that kind of introduce that to me, and it's hard for me to shake. And so I'm coming back with, I guess, a New Year's resolution to not be discouraged by anything. Like I'm making a decided effort to not allow anything to discourage me, which is actually a big step for me because it's so easy to be like, oh, well, this artist is better than me, or this person didn't like my work, or they had really harsh criticism to give, even though that, you know, I shouldn't care about their opinion because they don't know what I'm even trying to make. Like that's one of the most difficult parts for me. And that's something I have been challenged by in the past. Art of DHC says actually drawing. Oh, okay. Story and coding for me. So I don't know anything about coding. That would totally be a challenge. I understand. I've never even tried it though. So who knows? Maybe it's something that wouldn't intimidate me that much. But I'm honestly feeling like I should just have someone else do it if I were to get in that position. But story is tough. I had to watch a ton of videos and tutorials and analyses on scripts in order to understand story. And I've read several scripts to kind of get a sense of how story structure works. Like I've read The Incredible script, I've read some Stranger Things scripts, Breaking Bad, trying to understand like how these things work and how they're able to make it so enticing to read. And it's really, really awesome because you get to kind of step into the mind of these writers and this crew who are trying to build this world and make it visual. Because writing a script and writing prose are two totally different things. Prose being like an essay or a novel or something like that, but a screenplay is very, very different. And you know, you can only really write the stuff that people are going to see. You know, you can't go into stuff like, and this character was thinking this and this and this. So that's something that I've been challenged by as well, trying to figure out, okay, how do I express that this character is feeling, you know, angry and depressed? You know, what sort of signals can I give to the audience that are visual that would make them fully understand what it is that I'm trying to communicate. So yeah, I totally understand that aspect about the story. All right. I'm sorry, cat. I need to steal this chair back. I can't. My legs are getting tired. For you guys on the stream, you shouldn't notice a difference, but I'm gonna sit down. All right, there we go. Much better. Okay, so we got to do the backpacks now. Okay, so this one's got like a weird, it's almost like a tube shape. Like, you guys remember in Monsters Inc. where they had those like energy tubes that were like yellow and they would get the kids screaming? That's kind of what this looks like. It looks a lot like that, so. I don't even know how I got the idea to do a backpack like this. It just looked different. I didn't want the characters to have the same backpack. I thought that'd be boring. So I tried to create something that would kind of signify their characteristics in a way. So this character, he's kind of brash and bold, and he is very loud. And so I wanted to do something that was not quite normal. Like, it looked like you could probably hit somebody with this if you really wanted to. That was kind of my idea, or my thinking behind a backpack that was shaped like this. It's almost like a duffel bag, actually. It's kind of shaped like a duffel bag. And the idea is that they're putting spray cans in here. And he's probably carrying the most of them because he's the strongest, I think, in this group. It's kind of the muscle. I think I could probably make this even bigger, actually. I like your idea. Thank you. Yeah, that's something that I really try and do when it comes to design in particular. I think a lot of people, and I've made a video about this, you can actually check on my page, but a lot of people forget when it comes to character design that there's a character to it. Meaning that a lot of people will start to think that all they need to do to have a successful character design is make them look cool. So they'll give them a weapon that's like glowing or has a cool shape or something like that, or they will give them cool armor or something like that. And sometimes it works, you know. Of course, you want the character to look really neat and really awesome, but sometimes it doesn't actually fit the character. So the way that I describe it is like, imagine if I were to dress up, I don't know, like Harry Potter in a cop's uniform. You know, like that would be really ridiculous because we know he's a boy wizard. And unless you're creating a character that's, you know, going to be in disguise or something like that, he doesn't need to be wearing something like that. So it's the same thing with, you know, creating characters. Like, make your characters stand out and let them have their own personalities. You know, even if they all have the same objective. In my case, these characters are all going to a specific location to do some spray painting on this water tower, but they all have different characteristics and personalities. Actually, one of the tricks that I did for these two characters, I'll show here. Javen and Zalam. I've talked about this before on my streams, but these two are cousins, and the idea behind it was that I wanted Javen to look up to his cousin in a way. So they look different visually in terms of like their facial features and stuff like that. But if you look really closely, there's actually a lot of similarities, and I did it intentionally. So, for example, both of them have sleeves that are rolled up. Both of them have these really kind of big shoes. Both of them have a necklace. You know, they both have a jacket that's open, right? And so I tried to kind of communicate visually that he was trying to become like him, although I wanted him to have his own different style and taste. So that was kind of the idea behind this. Kathleen says Yasha is licking my backpack a lot. Oh jeez, Yasha, get off my backpack, bro. What are you doing? My cat's being weird, y'all. My cat's being odd. He's like, forget the kibble. I'm eating. I'm going lick the sweat off Jordan's backpack. Little weird cat. Whatever though, he's still very cute, even though I don't understand him at all. Okay, so I actually did draw this backpack in another shot, so let me pull that up for my own reference. TikTok crew, you're not gonna be able to see too much. Actually, you can't. You will see it. So here's the backpack that he's got. I basically just have to draw this in reverse. And actually, you know what? Hold on a second. Maybe I can save myself some work. Let me see if I can copy this over, because that would be amazing if I could. Gotta work smart. Oh, this might work. This might actually work. Let's flip that horizontal. Oh snap, it works. It is almost the exact right angle. Oh my goodness, this is perfect. Yeah. And actually the other backpack for this character looks very similar too, so I'm just gonna preemptively copy that over. He says, dang, what are the chances? I know, right? So that saved me a couple minutes of drawing right there. That's called kit bashing, by the way. For those who are unfamiliar with the term, that basically just means copying what you've already done and saving some time. So sometimes you'll have a concept artist and they'll need to make like a tree or a set of trees. And maybe 4 years ago, they did a forest scene that also had a lot of trees in the distance, and so they'll use that same thing to fill in the space. So it's really good when you can do stuff like that, because it's not cheating. I did the work. I'm just being smart about it. At least that's what I think. By the way, people are curious what the backpacks look like in their sketch form. This is from our art book, Shadowbox's art book, and I actually sketched out the backpacks here on this page. So sorry, other guys, you guys aren't seeing this on the second stream, but yeah, we have Javen's backpack. This one's Salam's. This one here, it was Cairo's that I was drawing, and then Enzi's is this one right here. So yeah, it's actually really nice to have a book like this, because I can use it for my own reference. I'll probably end up making some sort of like Shadowboxer's Bible for myself, so that I don't have to go in on my files and like peruse through that. I can just look in my book and be like, oh yeah, that's where this came from, and I'll be good to go. Alright, so that backpack is solid right there. And then this character, I believe his backpack, it looks pretty similar. It's gonna be a slightly bigger size. Has a different design on it. But let's first change the color to it. And I'm gonna do the best I can to redraw what I had from it. So it's kind of looking like this, if I remember. Okay, I don't know if I had these here. Sometimes they have little holders for water bottles and stuff. Can you do the same thing but for fun facts instead? What do you mean? Just help me understand what you mean, because I think I might have lost the context. Hopefully this is good enough, and then we lower the opacity here. for your character. Oh, fun facts for characters. Yeah, I totally could do that. You know, like I think one thing that's really important for writers to keep in mind is just having your characters be consistent. So, for example, if you write that your character likes to go to bed early, then don't have them up at 4 o'clock in the morning unless there's a really important story reason for it. You know, and like what are the effects of that? Because someone who goes to bed early, they'll probably be cranky if they're up at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? So you want to have consistency in your characters as much as is needed. And I say that with a slight preface because there are times where characters are allowed to be inconsistent, but I would be very careful about it. And the only reason I say that is because if you really think about it, humans tend to be very inconsistent, right? Like some days we like burgers, and some days we're like, I'm sick of burgers. You know, like there's times for that. So I would be very careful how you go about it, but I think having some sort of character sheet for something like character fun facts is a good idea. It's a really good idea. Oop, wrong layer. All right, there we go. All the characters have their backpacks. They're good to go. Excellent, excellent. Now, this. I think don't know if I need that layer or this layer. So now I can go in and I can do a little character fill for these guys. And this is just something I got from watching a lot of like animatics and stuff. They often will use like a yellow or something to communicate their characters and separate them from the background. So it's my way of kind of just making it easy on myself. Plus later, when it's time to color, I can use these as a base for the fill bucket. Characters down, one to go. And I'm gonna have to double check things, like in some cases there might be an arm that's too long, or you know, the backpack is not the right size or something. I'll have to figure it out. Cool, but coloring characters must be very difficult. You mean like when I'm designing them, or when I'm doing like when I'm just filling in, because these characters already have colors picked out for them. So are you saying like when I'm designing from the very beginning, or just like when I'm putting them in the comic? Also, I just realized this shoe is really off. It's actually the wrong foot. I drew it as if it was the opposite foot that it really is. So let me go ahead and fix this real quick. Probably missed it because I wasn't thinking about it clearly. When you're designing characters for the comic, yeah, it is challenging. It is challenging, but there's a couple tricks. So, first off, I don't know where you're from, and I don't necessarily want you to tell me, but characters or colors rather have a specific cultural significance and meaning to us. So, for example, in at least in the West, black is often associated with evil, or death or darkness, and so we tend to wear black at funerals or at a sad event, or if you have a villain, they're often wearing black because of that reason. Same thing with white. Oftentimes in the West, we think of white as like a color for purity and for, safety and things like that. And it can be very easy to use that as a basis for your character's colors. Same thing with blue, red, orange. They all have their own psychological connection. What's up, Megan? Thanks for coming on the stream. But there are also situations where you can use color to kind of mess with your audience. Like you can certainly give a character a color that means the opposite of what you would normally think it means. For example, in the film Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the colors of T'Challa's funeral, they all wore white because in that culture, in that world, black is a symbol of power. So it actually made sense for them to have white as their color for funerals because it kind of symbolized the new birth because they believed in the ancestral plane and stuff like that. So you can have things like that kind of take over for you and kind of steer you in the right direction. The other thing is you want to make sure that the colors you choose are right for your character. And it could be something as simple as like the culture that they're a part of. So for example, in my characters here, the colors actually mean a lot in this world and the culture. So like you notice this character's primarily wearing blue, she's primarily wearing yellow, pink here, green here. It's because the colors are all different cultures in my world. There's green here, but the primary focus color is, it kind of represents their culture. So it is something I had to think about quite a lot, but it is possible to figure out. And I definitely think it's worth trying to go in and understand. All right, a couple things I forgot. I forgot to include the pattern on Javen's pants here, so let me do that. Oh, I like this is peak. Oh man, thank you. Hi, Morik. What's going on? All right. So like I said, I'm probably gonna notice all these little things I need to change about these drawings in order for them to be accurate. Like this guy, he's got a little chain and a belt here. But generally speaking, I think we're looking good here. Generally looking pretty good. All right, let's move on to. Actually, I wanted to move on to this panel. This one looked kind of fun. Kathy says it's been pretty quiet here on the Red app tonight. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Everybody must be at a party or something. But no matter. We will continue drawing. We will continue making progress on Shadow Boxers, at least for the next 40 minutes or so. And who knows, maybe I'll stay on longer on one of these apps. All right. So for this one, this is going to be panel 2, I believe. Yeah, here we go. So in this shot, we see the water tower, and we see them all going under a fence to to basically get to their destination. So I'm gonna see real quick. I bet they have a fence 3D model in here that I could just find. Let me search for some assets and see, because that would make my life a lot easier if I didn't have to draw that. If y'all didn't know about the Clip Studio Asset Store, y'all need to get with it. Super, super helpful. Ah, here we go. Chain link fence. Perfect. And then safety fence. Both of them are for free. All right, let me just check, see what has better reviews. Default layout. Okay. Yep, let's download it. Let's do it. Now it should be in my Clip Studio store. For some reason, it reminds me of Infamous Second Son. I don't know that game. Oh wait, I already had a couple fences in here already. Huh. Well, I got another one. I'm downloading. Okay, it says downloaded. Is it gonna work? There we go. Ah, perfect. Okay, let's lock this because it's gonna get on my nerves otherwise. This is very helpful right now. Let's get it to be the correct scale though. Yeah, there we are. I don't know why it's acting up like this, but okay. Something about the scaling is a little strange, but it's alright. Yeah, can you imagine having to redraw all these little things? I would drive myself crazy. So yeah, we're gonna cheat right now to do that. Work smarter, not harder. Besides, this is a free download, which means they're giving me permission to use this as a resource. So I'm gonna turn off the fence layer for right now, and I'm gonna go in and I'm going to figure out some poses. So let's see. I think this is gonna be Zalam over here. I don't know how big a person is next to a chain link fence. I don't know what the proper scaling would be, but we're just gonna make something up. Lorax, nope, not today, bud. Sorry. Okay, so he's probably pulling with both hands. Probably doing something like this. So this is obviously not the final version. The scale is very off, but trying to get something that feels like it would work. Like if I was pulling a chain link fence, how would I do it? How would I do it? I feel like I would have my elbows bent. So let me have his elbows bent as well. All right. All right, that feels about right. So let me see if I can find a pose that can kind of mimic this. Just a kneeling pose will do, I think. Last soccer ones. Oh, this one's actually not that far off. The fire gun one. Let's try that. That seems realistic. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's getting there. All right. Oh, I forgot how twisted this one was. Ugh. You know what? Let me look again, because last time I worked with this one, it was annoying. Let's just try Kneeling Man. Kneeling Man seems closer to what I really want. Alright. So he's gonna have his leg like this. Gonna have to rotate him a bit. I just realized I probably should have reversed this. So let's actually pull this leg back. There we go. And then he's going to be leaning forward. Let's get those arms. These 3D models are so strange. Like, who could actually make this make this position without hurting themselves? I guess someone probably could, but my goodness. All right, let's do this. Have them scale a little more like this. And I need to do a quick sketch of the vanishing points and stuff. So I think this is safely going to be 1 point perspective here. Yeah, there we go. So let's have this be fixed, and then we'll draw our guide here. Oop. Can I ask how you learned anatomy? Yeah, I learned from doing a lot of figure drawing. I've been doing figure drawing for about 15, 16 years now. And especially when I was in college and grad school, I did it a lot. In grad school in particular, we would do figure drawing at least 3 to 6 hours a week minimum. And that's just being with the school. So I also did a lot of practicing. I did something called the 2500 challenge, where you basically do 2,500 drawings in the course of a year, and that's 1,000 heads, 500 arms, 500 legs, 250 hands, 250 feet, all in the course of a calendar year. So I did that as well, and then there's also all the characters that I have drawn, just over and over and over and over again. And the number I gave is not including any of this stuff that you see here on the screen. So a lot of it just comes to doing it a bunch and just really solidifying your understanding. The main things I would say: figure drawing. If you don't have access to that for some reason, you could go to like a community college and see if there's a course there you can take. They have lots of pose reference books online and like photo packs that you can get from different artists. And then there's just simply the pencil mileage. Like you just have to put in the work. Like there's no getting around that. Oh shoot, I got this little notification. Oh well, can I remove this? Let me see. Okay, there we go. Actually, I'm starting to doubt where these are going. Let me actually clear out this because I might be wrong with my thing here. No, but it's how I learned it, and it was very efficient for me, I think. So yeah, that's what I would say. Okay, so I was right. That was the right location. But I think it makes it easier to have it over here for right now. Thanks for the detailed response. No problem, and feel free to ask any other questions that you have. I try to be thorough. That is I guess probably learned from being irritated that teachers would sometimes give me half-baked responses to my questions. So yeah, I try and be thorough. Plus, it pads out the live stream quite a bit too. I think it helps me. All right. So let's continue working on this 3D model. Okay, let's move this fence down just a little bit. Alright, so this character, or rather this model, I'm gonna have him turn his head a little bit. To come a little bit lower, so let's see. Let's just move him down a little bit. Push that out a little bit. His knee bent. And let's move this over. There we go. Feels a little bit better. Yeah, I can see some moving like that. Oh, good. Good, good, good. I've never actually done this before. Like, pulled up a fence like this, so I had to take a guess over as to what it would look like. But if it's believable to you, then it's probably going to be believable for someone else. Here. All right. Let's move this for a second. Let's get the fence here. I feel like the horizon line is still kind of off, but makes sense like this. I probably shouldn't second guess it too much. Alright, with this now, I'm gonna just a little bit more. Opacity here. Oh, I should have included the body type. Forgot to do that. Hopefully it doesn't change up too much on me. Let's see. Great. Rescaled everything. You know what? I'm just gonna draw over it anyway. It's fine. Get his hair like this. Just realized I don't even really need a gray because I technically have one here. Put a bit of clothing on him. Thanks for the follow, Zemo. Appreciate it. Feel free to ask any questions about my process, guys. Right now I'm using Clip Studio Paint, EX version specifically. And I'm drawing on top of a 3D model because it's faster that way. Comics already take a long time, as I'm discovering. So we gotta make it faster for ourselves when we can. And honestly, I look at using 3D models the same as like using a photo and like tracing over that. Is the stream stuttering for a bit for anyone else or just me? It could be stuttering for me too. I'm not sure. Findy says, I wish I could have something like this. You know, you could get something like this. You can get, actually, this is something my wife let me borrow. This is called, what's this called again? A bodycoon, I guess. You get it from where, Japan? Yeah, they sell these in Japan. You could probably find them online somewhere. But they're basically little models, and it comes with a bunch of little accessories, like you can see different hand shapes and stuff like that. But I think using something like an action figure would also work just the same. Like I've seen people use like a regular toy of like a hero character, and they will light it they'll put like a lamp next to it and they'll light it a certain way and they'll just draw it from there. So you don't even need to do like something super fancy. You just have to be creative. Just gotta be a little creative. Lower this collar a little bit. Megan said body coons stink. Why do they stink? It's better than the wooden mannequins that they have at art stores that no one ever uses. They only need to be like 30 to 50% bigger to be good. Yo, who wants to use something that big? I have a cat who's trying to get on my desk all the time. I need something small. Other than the size issue, what is the complaint? What is the complaint, Megan? So I don't know if that's a real criticism. Isn't the whole point that they're supposed to be small? Okay, I actually don't think we'll see much of the belt here. Yes, it is at that size. The hands snap off. Do they? Oh. Maybe you're too aggressive. Maybe you're like, get in the right pose, and you just break it off. That happened recently with with an action figure of mine. The limbs just snapped off. Shoes right. I have a figure like way better. I'll put it in Discord, not sponsored. So y'all gotta get in there. Oh yes, if you guys want to join the Discord that we have, join the community. I will show you how to do it. You can see all the behind the scenes talk. So the way to, whoa, let me get the website back. If you want to join our free online community, then you'll go to shadow-boxers.com. You can see the URL right here, and it's basically got all the information for the project I'm currently working on. So you get to see the story, some characters, our concept art gallery. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see join our community right here, and you click on that. It gives you free access, and you'll get to see what our dear friend Megan's talking about, because I'm not sure. I haven't checked the Discord just yet. But yeah, that's the way to kind of see some behind the scenes stuff, get to be part of the community that we're trying to build with Shadow Boxers. And yeah. Hope to see you guys there. And like I said, it's free. There's not a dime that needs to come out of your pocket or your bank account. But Megan, I'll check in a little bit. I'll check after this stream. Okay. these. Just say this is Z. Who would go in first? I feel like Cairo would go in first. He seems like the kind of guy who's just like ready to go. I think Javen would go last in this situation. And then I know there's a crawling pose, but I need to find one that's not gonna get me like in trouble with whatever platforms I'm streaming on. So let's just see. So I know I've seen a crawl that looked a little suggestive. Let's see. Kicking legs. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention, guys, about the Shadowboxers site. If you scroll all the way down, you'll notice that there is a section to get our free newsletter. Let me pull that up so you guys can see it. If you get our free newsletter, you'll get updates and including occasional discounts on our online shop, and I believe that you get the first 16 pages of our art book absolutely free. So here's our art book right here, and you see it's got a lot of development work for the project, and I think we go all the way. I think you get like 4 characters in here. I think you get all the way up to Kayla. So that's like 15, 16 pages right there. So yeah, if you want to check that out, that's a great place to go. Okay, now let's grab our crawling pose. We got recline. I could just type it, I guess. Okay, yeah, this one's feels a little awkward, but we'll just we'll make it work. Change the physique, character. Not sure if he's getting buffer or not. And I'm just gonna preemptively lower his legs so it's not so weird looking. Let's get his arms up like this. No, the wrong way, I guess. Maybe. Goodness, just move that way. This thing didn't want to cooperate with me. Whoa, okay. Well, that's a way to go, too. Alright, let's shrink this. Probably not going to use this exact pose as is, but I'll do something. I really just need like a size comparison thing here. That's most of what this is for. And then let's get this leg. Something like that. Something like that'll work. Alright. Yeah, because they're crawling through a hole in the fence. There's only so much you can really do. his arm kind of going here, and he's gonna have his large backpack, I think. Yeah, he would have that on, so. Yeah, something like that. Again, I will be fixing these all later. Alright. And then I think we're gonna have Inzi and Cairo, not Inzi and Javen. Let's see. I'll have Javen over on the right side. Down. So he's going to be probably looking up at the water tower, I think, but he's got his hood on, so we probably won't see his face at all. He's got his backpack ready to go. I'm thinking about getting this app. You ought to. It's not a bad idea. Again, not sponsored, TikTok. It's not sponsored. I wish it was, but it's not. And then we'll probably have a little bit of his face showing right about here, I think. So the thing with these two characters, they're gonna have to be like kneeling, I think. So in order for this to make sense scale wise. So how can I show that they're kneeling? Actually, what I can do, I'll make it so that his back is more like he's crouching. And that way I'll have a different angle for the backpack. And that way it'll feel like he's actually like kneeling a bit. Same thing here with Inzi. Maybe he's putting his hand up, trying to tell him to wait a second. And what was the angle of this bag? It's going that way. Okay. And then we could say his knee going like this. Again, probably going to change this a little bit later. Scale them up just a little bit, get them to match, and then Cairo here. Okay, cool. So let's try this. Let's do a quick fill. These characters. We'll do blue here. yellow for this. Let's see, where's our fence? Yeah, get our fence here, and then we have a building on the side. I think this will be alright. Let me put a quick mask. And I wonder if I can do a straight line mask like this. Ooh, nice. Perfect. So they have quick shape for masks now. That's awesome. Obviously have the fence being rotated up. I actually think based on this, the fence is going to have to be at a smaller scale because these are pretty small. If I can find the layer. Here we go. I might end up doing something where I like copy and paste it, because I want to say that the fence size is more like this, but it needs to be twice as tall. So I'll figure out a solution for that at some point. It's an invalid invite to the Discord. Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. How about for you on Discord and you can send me an invite through there. That's interesting. You know what? Give me like 30 minutes. I'll check on it right after the stream. I'm about to wrap it up in a few minutes. So, but yeah, if it doesn't work in like 30 minutes, just send me a message on here on TikTok if you can't find me. Yeah, that's weird. It shouldn't be doing that. Thank you for letting me know. Actually, you know what? I think this actually might be a good spot to wrap it up. So, again, guys, if you're curious about what this is, go to shadow-boxers.com. The URL's up here, and you guys can see all of the stuff we have done for Shadow Boxers. We have a gallery, we have a shop. If you want to support us, you can click here. You can donate to our tip jar, or I guess technically it's not donate, it's really more like contribute. I really want to appreciate you guys for jumping on the live stream. As usual, we'll be on again this Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. But if you're on TikTok, I'll probably be on sooner than that. I like to go on more frequently on TikTok. YouTube, the Red app is more infrequent. That's twice a week. So anyway, guys, if you're curious about the Discord, I'm going to try and fix it right now. And give me like 30 minutes so I can just troubleshoot stuff and try it again. But I appreciate you guys working with me and your patience, and I will see you all next time. Peace.